to just talk a little bit about October 3rd, 1979. So tell me about your day. Tell me what was going on previously to the tornado. Tell me about your day.
Right. I got a call about 8:30 in the morning, and my daughter said she had a tummy ache. Could I come and pick her up at school? And I said, of course, honey. She had just gotten there, but I figured if she doesn't feel good, go pick the kid up, right? So I go and I pick her up and I bring her home, and then all of a sudden, at 10 of 9 in the morning, something on television comes up and says, a tornado is coming. And I said, oh, sweetheart, I'm so glad that I picked you up from school early, because otherwise the kids that got off the bus that day were hit by trees and whatever trash that was flying around.
So let's go back to that. So,
Yeah.
So you picked her up.
Picked her up.
And she's at your house.
Brought
now.
her home, yep.
And you're knowing that the weather is, you can probably see the weather's changing as well, right?
Got very dark. Mm-hmm. It got blackout. You could not see. It was like midnight. And all of a sudden, in the house, we had a fireplace. The winds were going around in circle in my living room. And I said, oh, what's going on? The tornado is here. I said, let's go underneath the table for protection. Duh, that was stupid. You go into a place that has no windows, and like a bathroom or something, and you don't sit underneath a table or on the stairs. We sat on the downstairs stairs, which is not the place to go. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, this wind is coming, and it lasts about 10 minutes. And when we looked out the window, when this stopped, it sounded like a train coming through. When we looked out the window, there were no houses across the street on Hollowbrook Road. Every house across the street was gone, totally gone. The tornado came up the river that was across the street there, Pequannock River, and I got on the phone and I called my friend who lived across the street, and I said, are you okay? She wasn't okay. She was walking down the stairs in their raised ranch, and the organ, her husband played organ, it fell on top of her. So it was like the scariest day that I have ever been in. It really was.
Wow. So going back to when the tornado was hitting.
Right.
So how old was your daughter?
Let's see, she was probably 9th grade, so she was probably 14.
So you knew what was happening at that time.
Yeah, right.
And so what were you thinking as you were huddled underneath?
That the house was going to blow up. I figured that the house was going to blow up. Luckily, the air conditioner that we had in the window upstairs in the bedroom blew in, so therefore it wasn't. The house wasn't going to blow up because it had an outlet on that hole in the window. So that's what I thought, that the whole stupid house was going to blow up. Yeah.
So tell me what was going through your mind when as it was over. What was the first thing that you remember thinking?
I called my husband. We had a business in West Springfield, Mass. And I called my husband. I said, Bob, we just had a tornado. And he said, oh, you did? I said, yeah. And the roof was blown off the house. All the trees in the backyard fell on the house. I said, and we're here, but you think you better come home? So he didn't think it was that bad. So he didn't leave his work until 5, 6 o'clock, and this happened at 3. So by the time he got on the road, the police coming up Route 75 wouldn't let him through. So he drove all around into East Granby and all that, trying to get home. But he didn't get home till 9 o'clock at night. So I still tease him from today. Yes.
So you said you called your neighbor across the street.
Right.
Now, so was there telephone service in certain houses?
It worked. Yeah, my phone worked. And we got everybody together across the street, and we brought them to our next door neighbor's house. or to my house. Now, my next door neighbor on the left, Don and Eileen Martin, they didn't, nothing, thank God, nothing happened to their house. So we all ended up sitting in there waiting for, the Red Cross and everybody to come, and, everybody was really nice, and the police and all. So,
So tell me, when you first went outside, so the tornadoes hit.
Right.
You know that you're safe, your daughter's safe.
yeah.
You open the door. Tell me what you.
Yeah. So we opened up the front door. As I said, there wasn't one house left across the street. Everything was down to the foundation. And we said, oh my God, I thought it was the end of the earth. That's basically what you think when you see all these houses totally gone. But the people were coming out. Some of the people were killed around the corner and stuff. They were killed. And some children were killed, as they got off the bus and stuff like that. And, but this tornado went all the way up into Massachusetts. It just carried. The airport was just a mess. And so what we did was we all made reservations at a hotel, and we stayed in a hotel while we had the house repaired. Yeah.
So did you tell me about the process of cleanup and
Yeah.
rebuilding? Let's start with cleanup.
Right,
So
right.
what was going on in your neighborhood at that time, that
Right.
next day?
Right. So people that were builders came over and gave everybody quotes. And they said, we'll do this, we'll do that for you, and all that. And then we had my friend who was, very hit. Her house was blown up. She had a nephew, and he's an attorney. And so what he did was he came in, and he represented all of us to the state of Connecticut. Because we didn't know what to say. We're just regular lay people. So he spoke with the state, and he asked them what we should do and all. So we all called our insurance company, and they said, go to get a hotel, stay there, and then we'll come in and we'll clean up, and then we will, make sure that your houses are rebuilt and all. So most people on my side of the street had $30,000 to $50,000 worth of damage on their house. And so the SBA, the Small Business Association, came in and gave us loans. So their loans were with very low interest, maybe like 3% interest. So we all took that, and then we made sure that we got our homes repaired like they were before. Yeah.
So tell me, what was damage to your house?
The whole roof was removed because all the trees fell on top of it, and all that stuff came downstairs. So what happened was, when the tornado came through, our house went ba-boom. So it left the ground, it went up, and then back down. So your basement, which is all cement, it wasn't any longer straight cement. It was all curved and raised. So, yeah, so we had to get the foundation repaired, the roof, all the sides of the roofs and the top of the garage and everything like that repaired. And, of course, the water came into the house and all, so we had to get all that done. Yeah.
What do you remember about the cleanup effort amongst your neighbors? Tell me what the relationship was, with everyone. Was everyone helping each other?
Yes, absolutely. The people were just coming across and just whatever we could do for you, and come into my house if my house was okay. But they didn't let us go back into our house for at least a month. But the neighbors, we all had. It's like they put on the, what do you call it, those movable houses, what do you call them, that people drive when they go to Florida and stuff? Mobile homes. Yeah, so a lot of people got mobile homes on their land, lived in the mobile home, and then could not go into their house. But we checked on everybody. Everybody was very friendly, and, we were in shock.
So you lived in the mobile home. How was that?
No, I didn't. We lived in a hotel. we went up to the Ramada Inn right up the corner there, and we stayed there. Yeah.
What do you remember about, we've done a lot of these interviews and people were talking about the Red Cross. What do you remember about the Red Cross?
Oh, they were great. They came in and they brought food, lunches. They came in every day so that we could get coffee and things like that. And they were very, very helpful. Yep.
Let's talk about your daughter a little bit. So she's 14 maybe.
Yeah.
Tell me how has this affected her?
Right. So my daughter was 14, my son was 17. He was working at Geisler's in Windsor Center at the time of the tornado. And I called him and I said, do not come home. Stay at Geisler's in Windsor Center, I said, because Pequannock is a mess. So he stayed down there until later on that evening, and then we got him into the hotel with us. And the two, they were like in shock. So it took Jody quite a while to get over this and, realize that it happened, but we're going to be okay. I think just the idea of saying, we'll be okay, don't worry about it. But it's hard for kids to get over that, especially when some of the kids, her friends and stuff in the neighborhood, were hit by wood as they came off the bus. So she realized that she was very lucky that I picked her up early,
She would have been on the bus.
She would have been on the bus. Yeah.
Are you, I'm asking everyone this, do you get nervous with weather?
Yes, very. I go hyper. Yeah, I really do. Especially if it gets dark when it's sunny and then all of a sudden it gets dark. I go, oh no, tornado coming, And then I get nervous about anything like that regarding weather. Yeah.
What do you think, you might have touched on it a little bit, but do you think going through that experience, a traumatic experience like that,
Right.
You might have gone through others in your life, do you think it changed you in any way?
Yeah, I really feel that it gives you a fear of weather. You're looking on TV and you're watching and they're saying, oh, storm is coming and all that. And I'm saying, I hope it's not a bad storm because, in New England, we have a lot of storms. And then you see out in the Midwest that they're having the tornadoes and stuff. But we've had quite a few since then. And it does. It gets you nervous.
Do you still live in the neighborhood?
No, we moved out about 14 years ago of Pequannock, sold our house, and we moved to a 55 and 0 community in Broadbrook, which is a part of East Windsor. And so I feel kind of safe out there. It's kind of in the boonies, and so we're liking it out there, yeah.
Let's just touch a little bit on the rebuilding process. First
Yep.
of all, how long did it take? And secondly, what was the process? Was it stressful? Was it easy?
Yeah, it was easy, because we just got a contractor and he did all the work. He was right from Windsor, and I had confidence in him because I knew him, I knew his wife, and I just had confidence in him. And he found the guy to do the roof and all that sort of stuff, and he was able to repair the kitchen area. And the only thing we didn't do was we didn't touch the basement, which was rocky rather than flat. And so then it was very difficult to sell the house because people would come in and they'd look at the house and they'd go down the basement and say, what happened here? And I said, well, it was in the tornado. So, yeah. So it was kind of dicey.
Do you think anything changed in your neighborhood between your neighbors? Was there anything that was different after the tornado that you all had gone through this together?
Yeah, some sold their homes and they wanted to get out of the neighborhood. They rebuilt them, but then they sold them. And other people stayed and they built on. They added on to their homes and they stayed and they accepted it all. And I think they just figured it wouldn't happen again. It can't happen again in the same area, right? You hope.
Do you think your neighborhood was close before this event?
Kind of. you know, when people live in their homes and they all go out to work and stuff, there's not that much closeness. But I think that a lot of this brought people together and caring and kinder and things like that, you know, yeah.
That's always nice. Let me just see here. I have one question that I'm ask everyone, and you kind of touched on it already. But what do you think? What do you think your the lasting effects of maybe the tornado, whether it's personal or in your neighborhood? What kind of long-term effects do you think that this event caused that area?
Oh, I really think that it causes people to think twice about when you hear something on TV to really protect yourself, to get into a small room if they say that they're doing that. If they say a hurricane is coming, do what you need to do in case a hurricane is coming, you know, with water and everything. So I really feel that it makes a person be aware, much more aware of the weather wherever you are, whether you're in Oklahoma or in New England, you know, or Midwest. Don't laugh it off and say, oh, well, they always scare us like that. Believe them because they mean it, you know?
Just a couple more questions.
Yeah.
What was the support like in the rest of the town who hadn't gone through this experience? Tell me if you.
Oh, they were great. People came from all over Windsor, and they were, you know, really saying, how you doing? What can we do for you? Yeah, the town was very, very helpful. And what was the governor's name at that time? She was wonderful. Ella Grasso was governor at that time, and she was fabulous. She got everybody help. She really cared, and I don't think another governor would do as much as Ella Grasso did.
She was from Windsor Locks.
And she was from Windsor Locks. Yeah, she was great.
Let me just
Yep.
see. I'm looking through my notes here. So I think I like to wrap up with just asking, is there anything that we did not touch on? So, this is not something that not everyone has gone through.
Right.
So
Right.
what do you want people to know about this experience? What it does to you? What do you want people to know that maybe we didn't touch on here?
Right. Well, it's just that you really have to believe the weatherman because he's not fooling. He ain't joking when he tells you that something is coming. And, you know, be prepared, you know, be aware, and just, you know, make sure that you keep your kids safe when something like this happens because you just don't know. You just don't know, really. Yeah, it's a scary situation. And if you're going to go through something like this, you just take it with you as you grow older. And I'm sure my kids do too. My son lives in Indiana. My daughter lives in California. And they have weird weather, as you know, in both of those states. And they're very aware of it. And I'm sure that they just take it with them as they age too, you know? So, yeah, it's been very interesting to say the least. Yeah, and we've got many, many pictures. I brought a whole book of pictures to the Historical Society, and I'll share them with anybody who wants to see them. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think I've hit all of my questions.
Okay.
Is there anything that anybody wants to?
Yeah, if I could add this, to go back when you were asking, how was it afterwards, the problems that we had, we did have a lot of problems with the insurance company. In fact, we had Middlesex Insurance, which was out of, not Cromwell, but out of, I forgot where it was, who has since gone bankrupt. But they gave us a lot of problems because we had like 50% of the siding gone. And they would come along and say, oh, we'll just give you 50% more siding instead of taking all the siding off. But what relieved a lot of pressure was the fact that we had Ella Grasso, because she wouldn't let them get away with it, and she was local, and she fought for us. Because some of the insurance companies, when you have a storm like this, you've got these charlatans who come in, right off around there, walking on the lawn, handing you their cards and so forth.
Well, let's get, can you speak to that a little bit on camera about?
Yeah.
That's a good point to bring up, because we haven't heard that yet. So your insurance company was different than what we've
For
been hearing.
Middletown.
Right, Aetna came
about-
through, for the people across the street, they came through immediately. And they gave them all the money that they needed to repair their house. We had, can I say the name of the company we had?
Middlesex, yeah.
If you want to, it's up to you.
They're bankrupt.
They're bankrupt, okay, they're
Yeah.
not.
I think they're back in business.
No, I
Well,
don't
then
think
just
so.
maybe
Yeah.
say we had an insurance.
We had an insurance company that went bankrupt because they had so many people insured in the tornado area. And we had siding on our house, kind of like a beigey siding. So 2 sides of our house was completely ripped off in the tornado because the pressure. And they said they were going to repair 2 walls of siding in our house, but leave the original siding there. You cannot, after a house is X amount, 10 years old, the siding color changes, and they were just going to give us 2 walls of new siding, and it wasn't going to match the other. So therefore, we had to go to the state, and Ella Grasso helped with that and with anything, other problems that we had. But it was not easy fighting the insurance company, so, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Were there any issues with looters that you knew of?
Well, no, not looters, but some of the people, in fact, a few houses down from us, he was an insurance man, and her jewelry was not insured, and her house blew up, and she lost her diamonds and all of her jewelry and stuff, and we couldn't believe it that she didn't have insurance on her stuff, you know. It was really sad, but yeah. But a lot of people got a divorce after this because, yeah, a few people, because it threw them, you know, into depression or whatever. And it was not an easy recovery, you know?